Good morning, business principal students, and welcome to day one of your 12-week online class. My name is Professor Frances Bruner, and I'll be your instructor for the course. All right, let's get started walking through the syllabus. As you can see at the top, this is a 100% online course, so you'll not be required to appear on video or join Zooms or attend class at any time during the semester. We have our synonym and section. This course is worth 3 credit hours um, at- for a college level course. So they're worth 3 contact hours towards your GPA. As I've stated before, my name is Frances Bruner. I'm available virtually by appointment. The link here is for my Google appointment page, so you can book in 15-minute increments at any time. Alternatively, you can also email me and let me know what times you are available, and I can schedule an appointment. My cell phone number is listed here. If there is an urgent issue, please send me an email and then a text message referencing that you had sent an email, and I will address it immediately. My email address is also frances.bruner@austincc.edu, and my professional website is located on the Google site linked here. So our campus and room are DIL, which means distance learning. So there is no on-site campus. Our textbook is the third edition of Understanding Business, the Core. Since we are in the third edition of a very similar book with 2 iterations before it, you are welcome to use older versions of the same textbook. The only difference is that there may be chapters which are out of order, but as long as you are following the chapter titles along with the progression of the course, you should be just fine. Since this is a 12-week course, I do require that you have a version of the textbook available to read through and to use as a resource. We'll also be using the Blackboard Learning Management System, so you must check your email often. I will send announcements and trigger an email, but you can also view any and all announcements through the Blackboard LMS. You'll also need the course content page to view chapter content, to take exams, and to submit your project. So we'll have 3 exams during the course of the semester, and you will need the textbook, and you'll need material from the presentation lectures throughout the semester in order to be successful in the exams. So the exams are open note. You can alternatively take your exams from anywhere. So you can be on campus or off campus. It doesn't matter. You just need reliable technology and reliable access to the internet. For the business principles class to be AACSB accredited and be able to transfer to other schools and other universities, then we have to complete a stock project during the semester. This also makes the course writing intensive. So your stock project tends to end up being about 14 pages long. I will upload a separate video with a walkthrough of the stock project to give you more details about it at a later date. So, as an overview, you'll select a publicly traded company. So, a US-based company that is available on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. You'll provide a report and given specific criteria to analyze the stock, the company, its history and background, and to make analyses based on this content. So, the stock project is worth 20% of your overall grade. It's you guys' responsibility to be aware of the withdrawal date. There is a link provided, but please also reference your counselors and the ACC websites for updates and changes. I will not be dropping you from the site um, for any other purpose except your exclusion from this first discussion board. So this discussion board will act as an attendance for you, so you must have some activity on it. Otherwise, I will trigger an email asking if you're still interested in being part of the course. If you're not, you may be administratively dropped for non-attendance. Anytime after that, it's your responsibility to be aware of the withdrawal date and to withdraw if you have any concerns. Before you withdraw from the class, for you know, lack of course completion, fear of failure, or extenuating circumstances, I do ask that you reach out to me via email to discuss your options before dropping the course. Point 5. It is absolutely necessary that you have access to technology. So, whether this be in the form of a laptop, a desktop, or an iPad with a keyboard, since this is a writing intensive course, you will need to be able to type a lot. You'll need to be able to view lectures. You'll need to have access to email to view announcements and updates. And you'll need to be able to submit your work on time. If you do not have a consistent access to a device, then you can go to student services on campus or call the student services number, which is later in the syllabus, and they can loan you an iPad for the semester. In general, on the discussion board, we want to act in a polite and respectful manner. This includes any differences in opinions, backgrounds, cultures, beliefs, or anything that individuals could disagree on. I would just add that we respect other people's views and opinions. Whether we agree with them or not is besides the point, as long as we remain polite on the discussion board. So, your exams must be completed on time. Your project must be turned in on time. This is an accelerated course, and late work will not be accepted. If you have a medical issue that is covered by the university policies, then this would constitute an exception and would come from the university itself. Otherwise, I'm not accepting late work for the semester. Overall, I want to make sure that you understand the grading system and the policies, that I provide clear insight for lectures, that I return your exam grades and assignment grades quickly, and that I give you as many ways as possible to communicate with me throughout the semester. I want the course to be interesting and challenging for you, but not overwhelmingly so. If you find yourself in an area of difficulty at any time during the semester, again, communication is key. Let me know early and let me know often what is going on, and so I can find ways to help you. The grading system follows this outline. We'll have 3 exams, as I mentioned, and a stock project writing intensive analysis paper. Each of these is components is worth 20% of your grade. In addition, we'll have a marketing campaign, which is a really fun way to upload a presentation and create a campaign based on a real or imaginary product that you are marketing via social media. So I always have really amazing output from students, and I hope that you have fun with this exercise. In addition, for each chapter, we will have chapter quizzes. All of the quizzes together will constitute 10% of your grade. The discussion board will require several postings throughout the semester, and this will be worth 5% of your grade. As you can see, the total points are 530, and um, and the maximum grade distribution is 500 points to receive an A. This means there's an additional, actually, it should be 25, sorry. Let me update that. So 525, which is an additional 5 points for your overall percent attainable. So that means that you have an extra 25 points added in to boost your grade, but you only need 450 points to achieve an A in the class, 400 to get a B, 350 for a C, and so on. Please read the collegiate best practices on your own. Again, since this is an online course, I do stress that weekly participation, watching the lectures, reading the material, and completing the quizzes will be necessary for your success on the exams. Here's the overall tentative schedule for our 3rd edition of the textbook. So starting today, and ending the January 25th. This is our first of the 12 weeks. As you can see, there's a foundational component, independent study, which is non-graded work that you are expected to complete, and a list of major assignments along with the chapter quizzes, which will be due all on the Sunday following the week opening by 11:59 p.m. This means I will not accept the work or assignment submissions after 11:59 p.m. on the following Sunday. So, since Martin Luther King was a holiday, we're starting on Tuesday the 20th. Every other week will begin on a Monday and end on a Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So for week one, we have an introduction to course requirements, which you are now listening to, the chapter one in the textbook. So you'll read chapter one and you'll review the stock project requirement upload. Your assignment for this week is to respond to the discussion board with a video and complete your chapter one quiz. Likewise, for week two, we will begin chapters 2 and 3, which you'll need to read and complete the quiz for. And then you'll also have a submission for your stock project companies. Now it says top 3 companies. You will select 3 companies that you would like to do your stock project on, but our stock project will only consist of one of those companies. The reason I'm having you submit 3 is because I don't want other students in the course to have the same company for their project. So week 3, we will go through chapter 14 and 15. You will receive the approval and you'll know which company that you will be using for your stock project, and then you can begin working on it. I'll also have a stock project tutorial video again for you to get a better understanding of the requirements. You'll be studying for exam 1, which will open the following week, and you'll have quizzes chapter 14 and 15 to complete by February 8th at 11:59 p.m. Week 4, the exam will open on February 9th and will close at 11:59 p.m. on February 15th. So the other weeks will go on as follows. I wanted to point out that we will have a stock project working session via Zoom on a day that I've scheduled that I will I'll send you a calendar invite for closer to this week approaching. So between February 23rd and March 1st. You absolutely do not have to attend this working Zoom session, but I want to be able to answer questions, provide feedback, and walk through some of the components that are needed for the stock project so you can better understand what is expected. And we have exam 2, which will be open from March 9th through March 15th. And then on spring break, I don't have anything scheduled. However, if you have not completed your stock project by that point, I would highly suggest working on it during spring break. So the written stock project is due by March 29th at 11:59 p.m. The following week, we'll have our marketing campaign presentations. And then exam 3 will open April 13th and close April 19th. The textbook overview follows with each full explanation of the chapters, so you can use this page as a reference. You could also find the chapter overview in the foundation section, but this gives you a little bit more information on what topic will be covered. So, part 1 consists of business trends. This is kind of an overview of the global market and the US market. Part 2 is business ownership. So this is specifically for those of you that are interested in starting a business in the future, or would like to be an entrepreneur later on in your career. Part 3 is management and organizations. And part 4 talks all about human resources. Part 5 is personally my favorite. That is consists of the marketing chapters. And part 6 is exclusive to financial resource understanding. So financial management, accounting, and then the way the government mechanisms work in the financial reserve. So there is a link for technology support services. If you have any concerns throughout the semester with your student borrowed device, or if you're on campus and have Wi-Fi issues. If you're not able to purchase the textbook, then I would highly suggest calling this number as a first resort to see if you can have a textbook through student support services. The course description and course rationale, instructional methodology all allow you to read that on your own, as well as the policies for completion and attendance. There's a statement of academic integrity, student rights and responses, Title IV reporting. If you have complaints, there's a website, privacy, recording policies, and so on. So I would suggest that you just kind of glaze over these. They're standard to any syllabus in ACC, so you'll likely see similar information throughout all of your courses. There's information on the testing center, as well as student support services for all different kinds of resources. Tutoring is available. There's a link for tutoring help. Um, and then academic support and library services. There is also a multitude of personal support resources if you are in at any point in need of any kind of assistance. So definitely either reach out to student support services or you can follow some of the links here below. And then lastly, if you or anyone you know is having a crisis, here are some helpful numbers at the end of the syllabus that you can refer to. So I highly suggest that students print out the syllabus, and there is a separate schedule overview document, which is printer friendly, which you can also print out if you just want the course overview for the semester. So this will print it will print over a full page, and it's really easy to refer to. You can just have it somewhere near your computer station throughout the semester, and hopefully it helps remind you of some of the important deadlines. That's all that I have for the introduction to business principles. I hope that you guys really enjoy the course and have a wonderful semester. Talk to you again soon.